This is Keith Boggs, the Stonebriar property inspection, and this is the inspection debrief for 1701 Adams Drive. I took about 50 or 60 pictures today at the house. That does not mean that there's 50 or 60 defects. I've not said 50 or 60 things wrong. Some of the pictures are from my use, like manufacturer labels, types of appliances. I use them on site when I'm looking at like the panel box and different things. And I also use them at home when I'm creating the report. So there's not 54, or 50 something defects. There was a few of them. The builder overall did a real good job, but we're going to go ahead and cover the few things that I found. There was one moisture related thing that I saw with the thermal camera that eventually probably would have led to a organic growth mold issue. But I know exactly where it's at. We'll show you that here in a minute. The first picture you saw there is just a picture of the house, obviously. I just noticed this is a freeze board at the back of the house that it looks like it's been damaged. So it's a pretty minor thing, but the house is new. So everything to me should be in new condition. So this fascia board needs to be, or freeze board needs to be repaired. And that's just the back of the house. Another thing I noticed is you can see the cement's broken off here. This is what's called a corner pop. It's very small. It's not doesn't affect the structural integrity of the foundation. Doesn't affect really anything. It's so small, but it will be in the report because it did break off here. And you may get these different size ones at the corners, and generally they're just cosmetic. That's also in the back of the house there. The freeze board was up here at the top, and then this corner pop is down here. This is inside the panel box. Before I went into the house, this is a look with a thermal camera. This is just basically a baseline benchmark look. I just want to kind of see what's going on with the panel box. Sometimes I'll see things there, sometimes not. Today, panel box looked fine the first time I looked at it. The stuff you're seeing right here, all lit up, that's normal. That's actually my camera. You're seeing this image right there. So I look at the panel box 3 times. Once before I get into the house, and then after I get through the first floor, I go through turning everything on, the lights, the exhaust fan, get all the electricity going through the panel box. And then after the first floor, I go out there and take a look at the panel box. And the same thing to the second floor, go up there and get everything going, and then take a look at the panel box. So I looked at the panel box 3 times with the thermal camera, and it looked fine all 3 times. This is just the first time. This is your water heater. Everything looked fine with the water heater. Didn't find any issues with the water heater. Again, this label is for me. This is your main water shutoff. I did notice I didn't see a pressure reducing valve, PVR, or PRV valve. Some cities are not doing that, but I'm licensed by the state, so I call out things based on the state of Texas. So it may be sometimes they put them up inside the wall where you can't see them. So there'll be a comment regarding the PRV that is not present, pressure reducing valve, and that's right here at this box in the wall. This is your sprinkler system. I believe there was 9 zones. I did check all the 9 zones. There was one problem with the last zone. We're going to get to that later, though. The parkway zone. These parkways they're on drip irrigation. Sometimes it takes a while for them for things to show up. I did find something later in the inspection. As I went outside to check on it again. There was a leak in the drip zone. We'll show you that in a minute, though. This is inside the house. There's a pretty good gap between the garage interior door. You can see the sunlight coming through there. So they needed to put some kind of door sweep here, or they needed to raise this threshold. You don't want it's a pretty good gap. You can get insects, maybe small snakes. Definitely cold and hot air coming in there, so that just needs to be repaired. And that's at the garage interior door right there. This is outside the utility room. The flooring right here sounded hollow when I stepped on it. Sometimes you'll get a loose floor. It's a little bit loose. It's not bad, but this actually sounds kind of hollow in this area. So they need to look at this flooring right through here and figure out why that there's that hollowness there. This is the microwave. I did test all the appliances, and they all worked fine. This is just showing the microwave working. This is the oven cooktop, set to 350 and heated right to 350. This is your cooktop. I did check all 4 burners. Got nice blue flames there. That's good. That shows good combustion. This is the disposal. I did test the disposal. I also filled up the sinks, drained them at the same time, and ran the disposal to overload it and look for leaks underneath the sink. Did not see any leaks under the kitchen sink or the other sinks either. This is your dishwasher. That one you can't see, but it should heat between 120 and 150. There's a better picture. Hold on. Here you can see 122. So that's It was actually 120 up here, but it faded away when I took a second look because of that blur. But that's good. So that shows the dishwasher was heating good. And this one I went back outside to check on the parkway. I don't know if you can see this picture. This is a drip irrigation, so it should only be dripping, and it shouldn't. This is shooting out of the ground. So there's a hole in that drip irrigation at that front parkway that needs to be repaired. Pretty minor thing. Yeah, front parkway number 9, zone 9. This is back in the AC. I'm just checking. This is just checking some registers here. I take the actual readings of the AC at the unit itself. When I got up there, it wasn't cooling very well. We'll talk about that again in a minute. So this pictures are really for me. This is the master shower, and it seemed like it took a while to get hot. You could add a builder won't do it. You could add a recirculating pump, which would get you water faster and give you a little more volume of water. But it just seemed like it took a while for the master shower to get hot. So you may find yourself having to leave it run for a few minutes before you get your hot water there. That's in the master again. This is after the first floor of the panel boxes. All looks fine. This is up here at your air handler. The float switch, the pan switch, needs to be closer to the drain line, which is blared out with my flashlight light. This should really be closer to this drain line, so when it starts to drain out this drain, this will sense it and turn the water heater off. The pan is also very dirty. Usually they're in new condition, so I think they should at least clean that pan out so it doesn't eventually cause corrosion and stuff. This is the filter. Filter was fine. And then this is the AC differential. So we're looking at two numbers here. The difference between the two numbers is the differential. On the air conditioning side, we want an AC differential of 15 to 22, preferably or 15 to 20, preferably closer to 20, especially because it's new and it wasn't hot today. And we have a 56 here and a 65, so that's 9 degrees. So that shows that AC in that house is not cooling very well. Again, 15 would be the minimum, but that would really even be for an old unit, in a pre-owned house. Really, a newer unit on a day that's not that hot really should be closer to that 20, but it wasn't even within the range. So the AC needs to be looked at and figure out why it's not cooling very well. This is the closet door going to the attic area. One only thing I noticed, it did open and close, but it's very tight at the top of the door. It's very out of square. You can't see here, but it's much more open down here. So that may, at some point, if you get even a little bit of movement, cause that door to stick in place. So they just need to get the door to fit inside of its jamb a little bit better. You know, that's that door right there. This is back to the thermal camera to the second floor, and again, it looks fine. This is a heat signature that I noticed in on one of the walls. On the other side of the wall, there's nothing there, so I'm not sure what this heat signature is from. It doesn't look like a hot wire. The heat wasn't going, and the signature is yellow, which is a heat signature. It was kind of cool out, so this is just a weird signature inside the utility room with this wall. So it'll be just a comment for you to consult with the builder and ask him, what was. Maybe he'll have a good explanation. That pressure reducing valve is over there, but that's cold water coming through there, so it wouldn't be a hot signature. Anyway, it could be just insulation's off there or something. I don't know. We just need to ask the builder. Why is there a signature there? This is in one of the bedroom right there to the left of the front guest bathroom. This is moisture right here coming in. This is the room. It's on this right about right here. You can't see it because it's behind the wall. It's coming from the outside. And I did go back with a moisture meter to confirm this. We'll see that in just a second. That's the north wall in that bedroom next to the bathroom. Right here, this bedroom right here. And then you'll see here we have the moisture meter here in a second. Here's the moisture meter. It shows 100% moisture. So mold needs about 20% to propagate. So this keeps on getting wet by the sprinkler or by rain. Eventually you're going to get some kind of organic growths back here. So they need to figure out why we're getting moisture into this wall here. And again, it's just right down here. This is on the heating side. The heat differentials, we're looking for, you call it a heat rise actually. We're looking for 25 to 60, 25 to 70 degrees. So the difference of these two is the number. We have a basically 99, 100, and a 71. So that's 29 degrees, so that's heating good. This is at the second floor, 98, and the 72, so 26 degrees. So that's That's not quite great. That's more of probably a baffling issue. But the heat was working good, and that's it. So I guess probably the only two things would be that moisture in that wall and figuring out why that air conditioning is not working very good. But overall, the builder did pretty good, better than most. I know you had some concerns, but this particular guy at this house did better than most. And usually there's a lot, even new houses, usually there's a lot more defects than this when I do these inspections. So anyway, if you have any questions, you can contact me 7 days a week. Just always remember to text or email me. Try not to leave me voice messages. I'm not very good at returning those. But if you text or email me, I'll get back to you pretty quickly. Again, the house is beautiful. If you need anything, give me a call. Thanks. Bye.